going like I kind of want to shift over to some of the obstacles that you face because as an entrepreneur we're faced with like some crazy obstacles. There's also like turning points in our life or in our journey. What were some of the biggest obstacles you faced when you first became an entrepreneur?
I would say one of the biggest ones that I faced was just even taking the first step. Probably it was one big obstacle. Because I was surrounded around the wrong people. So I was surrounded around the wrong people, as well as me starting to where I needed to be surrounded around big time players who are going to actually help me scale the business. So that was one thing that I really needed to change. Other than that, once I did start that business, I realized, oh my gosh, it was easier than I thought. I could have did this 5 years ago. What was I thinking? In an area, networking groups like joining BNI meetings, that sort of thing, master networks. That was really beneficial. Putting bandit signs out, cold calling, door hangers, you name it, we did it.
Yeah, it's very similar in the moving industry because I know it's a service industry, so we use some of the same exact types of marketing. Now, hey guys, if you really like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. This will help the channel grow drastically. Share this to 5 different people that you think can benefit from it. Now back to the video. Kind of going like I kind of want to shift over to some of the obstacles that you face because as an entrepreneur we're faced with like some crazy obstacles. There's also like turning points in our life or in our journey. What were some of the biggest obstacles you faced when you first became an entrepreneur?
I would say one of the biggest ones that I faced was just even taking the first step. Probably it was one big obstacle. Because I was surrounded around the wrong people. So I was surrounded around the wrong people, as well as me starting to where I needed to be surrounded around big time players who are going to actually help me scale the business. So that was one thing that I really needed to change. Other than that, once I did start that business, I realized, oh my gosh, it was easier than I thought. I could have did this 5 years ago. What was I thinking? Right? To where I thought that maybe the route that I should have went is like, I need to go start 5 businesses, not necessarily grow the one that I had. So I think a big struggle was like staying in my lane and focusing on one business rather than 5, because I wanted to start a moving business and a cleaning business and a demo company and a real estate investment company. And, I think people can do that if they have the right team and the right resources, but I didn't, and I should have stuck with it. So that held me back. And also just really putting the work in like every single day. I was a young kid making a few $100,000 a year to where, I'd still want to party and stuff like that, to where like I'd go do my thing, but I wasn't like, I'd still take time off to enjoy myself, where I could have just been head down grinding during that time.
Gotcha. Now, where was that turning point? Like, where did you really say like, oh shit, I can make some money here?
The first month, when I was an electrician, I made $15 an hour as a apprentice before people tear me up in the comments. Electricians don't make that.
Yeah.
I did $15 an hour as an apprentice. The first month that I went into the business, I ended up making $10,000. And that was the moment where I was like, wow, there's money here. I can start making more money. And then it was just a constant chase every single month. And then, it just continued to grow over time.
Now, when you were chasing, like you're hustling, you're out there trying to get business, trying to get leads. Was there a time where it was like, oh shit, I don't know if I should do this. Like, I don't know if I still want to do the jump removal because I wasn't drumming up any business. Like, did you get any shock or scared of anything like that?
Yeah, I should have mentioned that as a challenge as well. There's been so many challenges, so it's, I wish I was prepared. I'd have a list of 100 things. Yeah, it's a battle every single day of, even doing what I'm doing right now. I'm sure what you're doing, of staying in it every single day, because business isn't just biscuits and gravy every single day. It's the graph that's on emoji, on your iPhone. It's not, that's not what success looks like. It's constant, just back and forth to where I've questioned if I was in the right vehicle or not constantly. And at times, I knew that it was important that everything was a test. I look at everything as a test that, if I give up, then I fail, right? So it was constantly just trying to get past those struggles and keep it moving. And there were times that were great and there were times that were miserable, but I just kept working through it.
Gotcha. So kind of going back on the junk removal, I know that you sold the business, you got rid of the business. What are you doing now as far as, your business and your career that you're kind of doing right now?
Yeah, so when I was running my junk removal business, I learned to post on social media and share my story is what I was basically doing. I spent a lot of money on mentors, probably spent $300,000 on mentors, since I've started entrepreneurship. So I've invested a lot of money back into myself because I really, really focus on earned income and being able to get that earned income up. So I got my first mentor. He taught me how to grow on social media. I started just posting content. That was basically what it was. This is posting content. And one day I got a video that had 175,000 views. Wow. And they were all saying, "Hey, will you show me how to start a junk removal business?" So that next week I hopped on the phones with people to see if there was maybe even a business there. And I ended up making 27 grand profit that week, just hopping on a handful of phone calls because people wanted me to teach them how to start a junk removal business.
Real quick, can I take a pause right there? You said you posted a video. How long did that video take to get to however many views, and how was that time frame that it took you to post that video to make $27,000?
I would say the video itself had 175,000 views in probably like 24 hours. So I would say like it blasted off and then it just kind of plateaued. So I remember being at the office at like 5 p.m. and I was like, oh, this video's got 30,000 views. And I didn't get anything close to that before. 30, 50, 60, 80, 100. And I was looking at my phone the whole entire night. And then I watched those leads come in the whole entire night. And I was emailing these people back. I was DMing people. I had an unbelievable amount of leads. I can't tell you if it was 700 or 2,000. I have no idea. But I know it was a lot, more than I can handle. I didn't contact nearly as many as I should. And I just started replying to some that I could the following day. And by the end of that week, I would say in 4 days, I made 27,000 profit.
Wow. And when you did that, what exactly did you sell them? Like, what was it, the course, or what did you kind of sell them on there?
Yeah, so a lot of people were, they wanted to learn how to start a junk removal business and be able to scale it in their area to what I created, right? Mm-hmm. And I basically sold a product that I didn't have. And you see a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't do this. They start a business, they put massive commitment into it, and then they realize that it's not something that they want to do, or maybe they can't even sell the product that they have, where I'm kind of the opposite at this point after I experienced that unexpectedly. Is to where like sell it first and see if you can even sell it and then make it, right? Wow. Like a lot of people, you see them create the LLC and get business cards and get apparel and do all this stuff, and then they can't sell anything,
right?
And then they just wasted all this money. So I sold the product I didn't have. Basically, I listened to what they wanted, and I basically knew that I could give them that, right? So I told them that's what it could be, and I told them what the price was going to be as well. And then from there, I ended up collecting 27,000, and basically the package, to keep it very clear and brief, they were going to come out in person and I was going to coach them one day, and the second day they were going to ride on my trucks the whole entire day long. Mm-hmm. I had somebody flying out in the first 2 days. I was like, you can come out in the next 2 days if you want to, right? And he actually booked a flight. So I had 2 days to create something that I didn't even have. And I was forced into the coaching industry is exactly how that happened, because that's really how it happened. Is I ended up selling something I didn't have. I created it. That guy got there, which is one of my best students today. He's going to do probably $500,000 in revenue this year. Wow. And amazing guy. And I asked him, hey, how can I make this better? And I've kind of, he's seen me grow over time. And, I even added him to the Junk Academy team as well.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Now, did all those other people that you sold it to, did they come in a couple of days after, or was it like all at one time? Did everybody come in on a separate day?
Yeah, it was all separate. So it was all one-on-one. I should have did it all in a group setting. Yeah. I didn't. I should have done it more strategically. I just wanted to see how it went. But it was within the first month, people were flying out. But the first guy flew out in 2 days. The second person flew out in probably the week. And then some people didn't even show up. Like I sold them something, and I like had my office prepared. I'd go buy a projector screen from Best Buy. I'd have everything set up, coffee ready, all this stuff. Yeah. And then I'd be like, hey, where are you guys at? And they'd be like, oh, so sorry. I forgot. Yeah, we're not going to come out there anymore.
Wow.
So, okay.
All right. I'll take it. Yeah, so, going on social media, how much has social media really helped your business? I've done social media with my company. It's helped it, but I haven't really been going hard that I should. And once I started to go really hard, I've seen some results and I've seen some traction. How much has it helped you in your business?
Social media has changed my life, like 100%. I never used to be a social media guy. Like I give all my success to having social media there, and I wouldn't be anywhere near where I'm at today, guaranteed, without social media. I've made multiple 7 figures from social media. I've got a lot of followers. I've built a massive client database from having social media. I've met guys like you. I've met Ryan Pineda. I've been on big podcasts. I've met really, really big people. I mean, just one podcast that I went on landed me in a group chat, and Dan Fleshman's in there. All these big time people are in this group, right? I couldn't have had any of that without social media. So it's 100% changed my life. I would be nowhere near where I'm at today without it.
Wow.
And also, I want to add one more thing is it scares me to death that it's not going to work as good as it does today. So I take it extremely, extremely serious. So when people act like they have time, great. I don't act like I have time, right? I act like this is my last day, that I can really hustle and social media works. Why? Because people know that it works. People know that they should be posting, but they don't right now. They don't take it as serious as they should, even though it's the best thing for them. And I just, Bradley Martin, for example, if you know him, bodybuilder, he said that he had Instagram whenever, like, it wasn't even on Android. And all of his videos were just popping off all the time, right? Popping off because there was limited influencers on the platform at that time. But over time, as more people are like, hey, I need to wake up, I'm going to start posting on social media, it's just the algorithm's going to change. Right. So every single day, I take it extremely serious. Right. There's another guy, I got invited to be on another podcast. I'm not going to say their name, but he said, Kyle, you realize you could be, I forgot the term he used. You could be a tycoon, in this industry, like, if you keep at it. Right. So we're young guys, right? You look at all the big guys out there. You got Grant Cardone. You got all these people who are older. They're 40 years old. They're 35 years old. Like, we are the young crowd right now. Yeah. And I'm trying to grab the social media by the balls. So I am that Grant Cardone in 10 years.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I can honestly say I've witnessed seeing you on social media. I've seen you on Ryan Pineda. That's a guy that I follow. And I also seen you like on Daily Hustler, Millionaire Mentor. And I'm like, I'm seeing this kid everywhere. And I'm like, he does jump removal. He's in the service-based industry. And I was like, dude, that guy is killing it. I was like looking up to you. I'm like, man, this guy is killing it. I got to contact him some way, somehow. And I reached out, and here we are.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it took 4 years. As much traction as it sounds like I had in my life was good and all, but like I wanted a different type of lifestyle, and I didn't be able to achieve that until this year. Mm-hmm. So the people out there that see what I did, right? This was not an overnight thing. I worked my ass off to get here, right. And I struggled, and there were times where I've lost money, and there's times where I've been completely broke, and there's times I've had fat credit card bills that I needed to figure out how to make a lot of money in 30 days. There's so many issues that I had, but I put in this work, and there were a lot of things that happened this year that, like, I really moved the needle.
Right. So why do you think people don't leverage social media when they see all the influencers, they see people gaining massive success? Why do you think that they don't use social media to leverage, their life or their business?
People don't post on social media because they have a limited mindset and they don't know what it can do for them and their brand, or they're not confident in themselves. There's too many things that they have to go through like they don't want to show themselves on social media because they're concerned about the way that they sound, the way that they look, the pimple that they have, the teeth, you know, all this stuff. And they're so worried. It's all related to what people think of them. What I can say is the bigger you get, the more money you make, people are going to hate on you. People are not going to like you. You think that all your problems are going to be solved. All that happens is you just have more hate, right? You type in Grant Cardone, space, and you look up what people are most likely searching. You see fraud, you see scam, you see lawsuit. None of that stuff is true from my understanding, right? The guy's obviously killing the game, but that's generally what people are like. That's what you're going to get on social media. You look at Ty Lopez, same thing. So the bigger that you get, there's going to be a lot of people that do not want you to be there, and it's only going to become harder and harder and harder the bigger you get. A lot of people don't have a strong enough mindset to be able to battle through that.
You ever heard the saying where they say, if people are hating you, you're doing something right? So, I mean, I totally agree with that, because there's so many people that are just, they want to live the life that you're living, right? They see what you're doing, they see this, they see that, they're like, how's he doing that? He's probably scamming, or he's probably doing something like that.
Yeah, there's people every single day. I mean, I don't even, at times it's ruined my day, 100%. It's ruined my month. It's slowed me down, but I've got that F it mentality now where nothing is going to get in the way of what I'm doing. And I've got that strong mindset, and I want to be the best version of myself. I know what I'm doing is right, and people are getting results every single day. And a lot of these people, this is a fact right now. Mm-hmm. If you look at anybody who comments on your stuff, who says anything negative whatsoever, go look at their account and see what it looks like. Oh, there's never one point in your life you say, hey, I want to live that life that guy's living, right, or that girl's living. That just doesn't happen. You look at their account and they got 17 followers, a picture of a dog as their profile picture, right? But everything that they probably comment on social media is negative. Right. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be surrounded around those people whatsoever.
Gotcha. Now, right now, what businesses are you in? I know that you're an entrepreneur. You pivoted from the junk removal. You went from electrician to junk removal to the Junk Academy. What else is Kyle doing, working on a day-to-day basis?
So I have partnerships. I have multiple partnerships, with either junk removal, actually being, a partner to help somebody scale a business, more on the back end, silent partner. I have Junk Academy, where we help people, launch junk removal businesses, scale them to 10K a month within the first 90 days. We've got about 300 of those. I plan on launching a few thousand. And then this is another story, is like, my Instagram got deleted. My business was absolutely crushing it. I mean, I did a 6-figure day, like I was telling you about. I made $105,000 in 1 hour at 22 years old. And again, as I was going viral, you watched me grow from 2,500 followers to 90,000 followers, and nobody wanted me to be there. And people would have my account deleted, so they'd pay to have my account deleted, and I'd lose a lot of my business. So I was like, I need a recurring model in my business, and I also wanted to be fully integrated with my Junk Academy. Mm-hmm. For example, if somebody needs to start a junk removal company, they need a truck, they need a website, they need paid per click, they need SEO, they need bandit signs. If I sold all of that, right, that's how I would be a fully integrated business and be able to make a lot of money. Or if you're a junk removal company, you could be fully integrated, and maybe you could be the mechanic shop, you could be the mover, you could be the junk removal guy. Like, I know somebody who's in agriculture, they're fully integrated, other than owning the actual grocery store, right? Where I really learned about integrating different things, to where I started a social media marketing company, because a lot of people, I tell them, hey, you need to post on social media. So these people that pay me a lot of money to learn how to scale a business, I say, hey, here's the strategy that I use specifically on social media. Go do it. You know how many people out of 300 people did the exact strategy that I said? 0. Literally 0 people. There were people.
Why do you think that?
Because it takes a tremendous amount of discipline to do it every single day. If somebody gives you a meal plan, right, that says, hey, eat 1,700 calories every single day, who's going to do that 7 days a week, right? There's going to be 1% of people that actually do that. But literally 0 people actually did that maybe they thought it was way too much, and they had so many different excuses that I said, I'm going to manage it for you. I'm going to manage it for you. And I started managing the first client, and I was personally managing his account. It did not make sense for me to do that, but I was doing it to try to open myself up to a different business opportunity. I had another guy, I was talking to him. I said, here's the framework. And I would tell everyone the framework for free. And I'd say, here's how you do it. Go do it. If you don't do it, you should probably give me a call. Well, what do you know? All these people would start giving me a call because they wouldn't do it. So this guy, he ends up saying, yeah, I want you to manage me and my partner's social media. So we started doing that. We started making him well over $10,000 a month just by managing his accounts. Wow. And that was a big return based on what he was actually paying us. So he calls me up one day and he says, man, this is the biggest thing ever. This is the new SEO. I want to be a part of this business. And by the way, this guy didn't even have a social media, by the way, a long time ago. And we met up, right? We sat down for lunch and he cut me a check at the table and bought a portion of the company, and that was under Junk Academy, and now I had to rebrand the business, and now we call it Rise Media, and we help people in all industries, anybody, help them grow on social media, do what it takes to actually grow and get followers and get engagement and get more clients. And then we do it through a done-for-you service, because what I learned is I could tell you how to do it, doesn't mean you're going to do it, so we'll do it for you.
Wow, that provides extreme value, because I know that there's a lot of people that do it a done with you instead of a done for you service, because the done with you sometimes, like, it's hard, it's rough.
Another thing I want to say is done. Yeah, there's do it yourself, there's done with you, there's done for you. What I learned is when you can create a service that's done for you, where you do something for somebody to where they know it's going to get done, right? With a guarantee maybe in place, that's when you can charge big money. Like, I know people that charge massive amounts of money for stuff that I just can't even wrap my head around, for simple stuff that shouldn't be 75 grand or 50 grand or 25 grand, but they do it. And the reason why is because it's done for you. What you need to know is, like, people are more like, you need to give them something where they can be lazy, because people like being lazy. And if you can let them be lazy and you do everything for them, they're going to be willing to pay you a lot more.
Yeah, it's true. Look at DoorDash, look at Uber. Uber Eats, DoorDash, and all those things like that. People are lazy to get their food, and people are paying a premium for it. What is your guarantee when you're working with these companies? Like, are you giving a guarantee? You said, that's like a big thing to give. Like, I see that you promote like $10,000 a month and something like that. What's your guys' guarantee?
So we've tested many different guarantees, right? And the guarantee thing is a little, people, it's too good to be true for a lot of people. So if we sell them a normal product without a guarantee in place, they're like, oh, I think I can do that. But the second you mention the word guarantee, right, they're like, oh, I got to get my attorney involved. It makes it more difficult to actually make the sale, which is as crazy as that.
Really?
Because the offer sounds too good to them. They're like, oh, this is not, exactly what it is. So we had to put the thing is you got to put certain things in place. Hey, this is what you need to do. So as soon as somebody onboards, they would get a paper that says, hey, here's what you need to do 7 days a week, and you need to send this report to us every single day. And if you don't hit that $10K a month in 90 days or $20K a month in 120 days, then we'll give you a refund. So we tested that one the first time. The thing is people, again, I gave people that offer the guarantee in place. Guess how many people filled out that paper? None. Not even one day.
Wow.
Alex Hermosi, I heard something from him, and he said, when you give somebody a to-do list of what they need to be doing, 2%, I'm pretty sure he said 2% of people actually complete that. So if you give 100 people a guarantee that you can help them make blah, 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 right? But here's what you need to do every single day. 2% of people will actually do it. 2 people would do it out of the 100. With a workout program, say you were a personal trainer and you were coaching me on how to look like a movie star in 90 days. But what it was going to take in order to hold this offer was I was going to have to send you a picture of every single meal that I had. I was going to need to send you the calories on it every single time. And I was going to need to work out, and I was going to need to send you all the reps and everything like that. I'm not going to do it. Why? Because it's hard and it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of discipline.
Wow, that's a crazy statistic. Wow, wouldn't even think that. want to ask you this. Why the Lambo? Why not a different car?
The Lambo, honestly, the Huracan itself, I really love the car. I bought the Lambo because it was more of a reliable car than other exotics from what I heard around the streets. So a lot of people said that that was like the good exotic to get. And I didn't want to get an Audi R8. I didn't want to get a GTR. I wanted to get something that was a little more big boy. Yeah. Right, that like I felt good about.
Yeah.
And I thought that Huracan was it. So I do love other cars, you know, and I'd probably be happier in a cheaper car, honestly, like a muscle car or something like that. Yeah. So, but you know, the Lambo's done tremendous things for me. So I love it, and I don't regret buying it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car. What would be your next car?
Man, you put me on the spot here. I would buy a Ferrari F12, a Ferrari 812, 720, McLaren 720S. Man, there's a lot of cars. Oh, an Aventador. What am I thinking? The next car that I'm going to buy, clip it right now, I'm going to buy an Aventador.
Yep.
And I'm kind of in that like James Bond, Batman theme. So I want to get like a gray Aventador, just like in the movies, or a blacked out one. And I'll be set. So that's probably my next car.
Got it. You're going to be in the Aventador. I want the 458 Italia Ferrari. That's the car I've been wanting as a kid. So I love cars too. You were saying it earlier, like, growing up, you loved cars. I love cars as well. I drove a Porsche before. I traded in. I got a Ford Raptor. Love that truck too, but it's kind of coming on for another car. I kind of want a GT3 911. So we'll kind of go from there and see how that happens. But we're going to clip that and we're going to remember that. Now, kind of coming to the end of the podcast, what are some of things you like to do in your free time?
Honestly, man, like I'm addicted to the grind right now. Like I wouldn't work for free. Let's put it that way. But like I do like working a lot, and I do like that time where like if I go to bed, I got money on my mind.
There you go.
I wake up in the morning, I got money on my mind. So. I really do enjoy what I do. I really do. So I consider that a hobby. I consider it a sport. I always call it a sport. Man, I got a family as well. I recently had a baby in January, so eight months now. I've been a father, which has been life changing for me, honestly. Especially at a young age of 23. Mm-hmm. So usually, what my days consist of is I usually, right now I'm waking up at 4:30 a.m. and I work really, really hard, manage my time extremely well until about 5 p.m. And after 5 p.m., that's when I gotta turn the light off and hang out with the family.
Nice. Wow, that's great. That's great. Now, as far as personal development, what's one book you would recommend to an entrepreneur that's starting out?
Man. I would say obsessed or be average. Honestly, all you need to know is what the understanding of that title means. So there's a ton of good books out there, a ton that I could recommend. I was never a big book guy. I'm the guy that buys 50 books at one time, and then I'll read one, and then I never get to the other 49. Yeah. So Obsessed or Be Average is by Grant Cardone. And if you are not obsessed with whatever it is that you're doing, it doesn't even need to be entrepreneurship. It could be making your relationship better or becoming more healthy. If you're not obsessed with that, you will be average. So I try to be obsessed with what I'm doing. And if you're not obsessed, you need to figure out where you can find that obsession, and maybe you're not in the right vehicle.
Gotcha. Where can people find you? Where can they find you on social media?
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, every single platform. Look it up, Kyle Landwehr, or Kyle Landwehr 11, and they'll be able to find me.
Thank you, Kyle.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.